Hey, it's Brian with Pro Armor. Today we're going to be installing our Asylum cage on a 2015 XP1000 two-seater. The tools required to do this job are a 6mm socket, 8mm socket, 13mm socket, 15mm socket, 10mm Allen socket, two 15mm wrenches, a ratchet, a pair of pliers, and a torque wrench. To begin the install, you're going to need to remove your harnesses or your stock seat belts, along with your seats and your doors. Start by taking out your seats. Once your seats and harnesses are out, your next step is going to be removing your doors. You'll need a 13mm socket and next we're going to be removing the shock reservoirs. You'll need a 6mm socket to do this. Now we'll be removing the A-pillar bolts with a 15mm socket. The last bolts you need to remove are your 4 C-pillar bolts, which is a 15mm as well. Once you have all your bolts out, you'll be pulling off your stock cage and getting ready to mount the Asylum cage. Once you have your cage mounted on your car, we're going to start with installing the A-pillar bolts. Now we're going to be installing our C-pillar bolts. If the holes don't line up perfectly, you can use a little pry bar to get your bolts in easier. Just pull down on it and slide right in. Next we'll be installing our doors and our B-pillar bolts. Now we'll be installing our shock reservoir mounts. We'll be using the hose clamps that are included with our cage. At this point, you can either install your seats and harnesses now, or you can wait till we get the rear section on. I'm going to put them in now. Now we're going to jack the car up to remove the radius rod plate to install the rear section of the cage. Once the car is jacked up and the tires are off the ground, you're going to remove the 4 radius rod bolts. You want to start the rear section by installing your bung bolts. Now we'll be installing our radius rod bolts. The washer you no longer need to use, so you can set that aside. Now we're going to install the radius rod nuts. If you have access to these are a nice little handy tool. Just clamp them on and it holds it in place so you don't drop the nut. Once everything is on, we're going to go around and torque all the bolts back to your factory spec. That wraps up our install of our Asylum cage on our XP1000. You can find our optional roof as well as all of our products at proarmor.com or by calling us directly. Thanks for watching.